Welcome to Interro Bites. These are 15-minute videos taken from my long-form live streams. If you want to see the full video or more, subscribe to Dacquisto and check out the playlists on my main page. Thanks for being here. Enjoy.
And hello, everyone. Thanks for joining.
From the United States?
They are first generation. I think their parents were Holocaust kind of things. Yeah. And they're weird, but I don't have a hard time actually being involved. But they are strange people.
Right.
I mean, in 9 months of dating, they probably said 20 words.
Okay.
This is not coming up.
Okay. I tell you what. Let's just do this.
Okay.
When you get your paper copies,
Yeah.
send them to Corey for me,
I will.
and then.
If you give me an email address, I can send them to you.
Either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that way.
My name and contact
That would
number,
just-
my email's on there as well.
And all we basically are doing is we're substantiating. We do this with everybody. You're
Yeah,
not the first in this
Of
case.
course.
We're just substantiating. This was his whereabouts according to his financial records. He was traveling. He was not in town.
Yeah.
Yes, he's her former boyfriend, but this is where he was at according to his financial records.
Of course.
So that's all we basically want to do. And it's basically we eliminate, and then we get down to who we're really looking at.
Yeah.
You understand. It's not brain surgery or anything, but I'm trying to think of anything else I could ask you at this time. And
I'd be wanting to come back. I just don't want to spend more time with Wendy. If there's anything.
Here's another thing that I typically.
I wasn't sure about what he just said right there, and I'm gonna. I don't know, you guys. I'd be willing to come back. I want to spend more time with Wendy, or I don't want to spend more time with Wendy. I think, sadly, and I agree. He just wanted love in a family. He desperately wanted a family from all accounts. I'd be willing to come back. I just want to spend more time with Wendy. I thought that was a little odd, but people say weird things. It's not a big deal. All right, let me get to some of these comments because we're wrapping up. He's not wearing a tattered shirt. Okay, let's see. Lots of hey, thanks everyone for joining in. Where did I leave off? Okay, go Georgia. This is true. Isom and Jeff kind of had it figured out. The other detective wasn't exactly, and in the detectives like Detective Isom is just saying, we're just ruling people out. We just need to know where you were. Of course, they want any other information that he would be able to offer, and he was very willing to share that, which is really to everyone's benefit. But in a later interrogation, Jeffrey said flat out, I don't think the other detective understood what I was trying to say, and he just passed me off as a jilted boyfriend, which of course I was, but he came back and he reiterated some of his thoughts. They're used to, working in facts, and Jeffrey was speaking in terms of, psychology and feelings and all that quite a bit. So cops don't always respond to those things. So I think that might have been a little bit of what you're saying in terms of the disconnect, but thankfully it didn't persist, and Jeffrey became a star witness. Okay. Denise Williams in Winchester would be if she didn't turn on him. That's right. That's right. All it takes is somebody who is going to tell the truth or have grow a conscience or whatever. And again, hey Fancy, hey Judy. I think it was an act, and I think that you're referring to Wendy pretending to be so bothered by going to the kids' soccer game because she might run into Dan, and oh my gosh. Either that or she really bought into her own drama. Like, that can happen too. And Judy said, yeah, it was more manipulation. Jeff is a good guy. Hey, Fancy, glad you're here. I'm down in San Diego. I wish it would rain. We always miss it. Raining here in California. Sandra, hello. It's nice to see you. Hey, Sandra. Probably an act. It seemed like it. And I mean, just imagine Jeffrey be on the other side of that. Like, wow. Just over the years, coming to grips, or over the months coming to grips with what he was really because he learned more, as we'll see in the future interviews. And someone, and it was a while back up in the comments, is saying they would love to see how Jeff is doing now. We would love to see how Jeff is doing now. Oh, here it is. Yeah. And Lizzie, I'm so sorry you got busted pipes. I'm hearing that's everywhere in the United States practically. I am so sorry to hear those things. I have family in Wisconsin. Very cold. It's warming up today. I don't know. Do the pipes burst because it's warming up? Or, I mean, is it warming up and then they're bursting? I don't know anything about burst pipes, but one of my Twitter friends said he is now an expert at fixing pipes. He's helping people in the neighborhood, I think, as well as his own pipes. So no problem that you missed it. Of course, you can always replay. And I'm going to be chopping up these videos into shorter segments because I know they do run pretty long, but especially for those of us who've been with Mentour Lawyer for the last several hours. Okay, Judy, he didn't take part. Are we talking about Jeffrey? Jeffrey didn't take part in an HBO special about the case. Was that Jeffrey? And yes, I heard that there was another special coming out. I'm thinking we're talking about Jeffrey, not Stephen Epstein on that one. So yeah, that's too bad he didn't take part. He's probably over it. I would be. Hey, go Georgia. Again, Lizzie, I'm glad you got through this part of it. I hope you don't have any more problems with freezing things. And yes, Lady Cymbeline, I think Wendy worked herself into a frenzy about seeing Dan out. She cowardly left him, and he was outsmarting her in court. She probably legit was having heart palps, but it was not for fear of abuse. It's a facade. I think that's a very interesting take. That's why I asked the question, do you think it was an act, or was she legitimately maybe even knowing what might happen in the future, working up a frenzy because she has to face him? Stephen Epstein. How did Stephen? Oh, I did not catch him. I did not hear that. So we don't want. I know some people are very sensitive about Jeff. Mr. Jimbo was on earlier. Nothing that I know about. So we don't need to demonize people. Hello all. Hello, Jennifer. Okay. Fancy said it is with Apple. Okay. That must be it's not the HBO, it's with Apple, I'm assuming is what you're saying. Okay. Sandra. Yes, justice for Dan. Love you too. Yes, we want to keep this case fresh and alive. There are certain cases that really get to me. And I want to tell you, we talked about this, about what other cases we're going to do. I've had a couple of suggestions, but the one case that got to me, since it's almost the end of the year and we talk about the previous year, what we loved or whatever, I thought the Dr. William Huso case was extremely important to Americans. And if you have a chance to binge watch a trial, I'll send you the link if you want it, because there have been some important cases this year. I feel like this case is really important because of what it shows about the family life and that kind of thing. But for the year, does anyone have a favorite case? Obviously, we loved getting the guilty verdict this year with this case, but any other favorite cases for the year? That was my really important case to me. Okay. Judy, he's not wearing a tattered shirt. He's more than a jilted boyfriend. He's more than a jilted boy. He's not wearing a tattered shirt. I'm not sure I follow what that is. Maybe somebody said something about a tattered shirt and I did not catch that. Fancy fiction. Okay. What annoys me about Steve Epstein is it makes out the watch video of Wendy together for hours, yet Isom seems to spot Wendy's game immediately. Oh, yeah. Steve Epstein said that he didn't feel like, I'm not going to even quote it. We all know what we're talking about here. Yeah, it's okay. Epstein makes out that Isom was agreeable to him. And Apple, yes, you can stream it on Apple TV. Okay. And Fancy is saying she doesn't think Steve Epstein watched all of his interviews with the police, including the one that we're going to cover here in 2015. March 2015, he came back with some bombs to drop. Lizzie, I think Jeff, I'm just assuming you mean Jeff, looks super cute here. Shame on Wendy. He does. I hope she ends up with some. Oh, okay. Okay. And the new show is going to be with Apple, and Jeff decided not to participate, I guess. Okay. Yeah, could be, Sandra. It could be. It could be. Lizzie says yes. I think that is what she's saying yes to. Should we watch the Apple program? Yeah, you have to have an Apple account if it's Apple TV. I don't know. I mean, I think some of us who are really paying attention to the nitty gritty are always going to be disappointed in a show like that. Like, we're not going to learn anything new, and they only can do so much in a compact amount of time. And they're just trying to, like Epstein or anyone else trying to sell their books. So they might have a different, it's a really hard one. Yeah, I'd be interested in anyone else going to watch it on Apple when it comes out. And when's it coming out? And Lizzie Ball, Georgia says Jeff would probably be happy to hear she thinks he's cute. Why wasn't a bump done on Wendy? Good question. Is it possible there was? And we don't know it yet. I really always hold out that maybe there's just a lot more evidence that we don't know about yet. But on the other hand, it's been over 8 years. Why aren't there more arrests if that's the case? I got you, Fancy. It is. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad it's done. I had a lot of fun doing it, but yeah, it's hard. And we hear you on having to listen, especially certain people. You know who really annoys me? I am so sorry. It's just a personal thing, but I was rewatching the hearing for Chad and Lori Daybell's murder trial that's coming up supposedly in April. And so I was watching the preliminary hearing. Chad Daybell's lawyer is just like like hands on chalkboard kind of thing. Thank you, Sandra. Appreciate it. I really believe now that Wendy had Jeff in mind for the murder agenda. It's interesting. Yes, I'm from Wisconsin. Even though I've been in Southern California for over 40 years, the more I speak with people from Wisconsin, especially this time of year, the more I sound like it. That's okay. Thank you.